Hello, 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 friends. Welcome to my live. And today I am standing. I'm actually using my standing desk, which I've had over a year. And I said, and I've used it before, but I'm like, let me stand because I don't think I've ever used my standing desk to go live. So I'm using this today. So I'm standing, which is exciting. But come on in, everyone. As always, I'm here on Instagram, but also on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at SMM Realty Group, living in Montgomery, Alabama. So go check that out if you're not subscribed to my channel. If you're on Instagram, thank you for joining me, and definitely drop your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, just drop Q. Welcome, Just Lovely Lace. Happy to see you here. And today I am using my standing desk, so hopefully you can see me great. I have to move my computer and I have my other screen. But yes, if there are questions, by all means, let me know. Let me see if I can move this up to see the questions. Let me see. Okay. So hopefully I can see the questions. All right, y'all. Well, happy Monday. Welcome to Monday and day 26 of me going live. If you're new to my space, welcome. I am Shevvymac, your realtor with KW Montgomery. And what I do here as a realtor is to help you to buy your first or your next home with confidence and ease. I'm a retired Air Force veteran. After 22 plus years of serving in the United States Air Force, yes, I decided to become a realtor. And I will share my story one day of why I became a realtor on another live. But today I want to talk about how to have an effective home walkthrough for new builds. So, for example, if you're in the market to purchase a home and you're like, hey, I would love to build my house from scratch as a first-time home buyer, or maybe you're looking to build your or as a second as a person who is buying for the first time. So happy to hear that you can hear me well. Lovely Liz, thank you so much for that. So I'm going to just kind of talk about what to look out for and why it is important that you bring along your realtor during this journey, and not just bring along your realtor for them to just kind of walk through with you, but hopefully your realtor is a great realtor who's actually going to point things out and also, ask specific questions and let you know what exactly is going on. Okay. But if you have any questions as you're listening to this, by all means, drop it in the chat. And I will definitely pause to answer because sometimes I do go like really fast. But if there is a question, just drop the cue so I know, hey, there's a question coming and I can just kind of pause and wait for your questions. All right, so friend, so you're in the market, you've been looking for a home and you're like, hey, I don't want to buy a pre-build, but I want to buy, build something from scratch, which you're okay waiting 6 months. I kind of talked a little bit about this in the previous lives, but today I really want to just kind of focus really on why you, as a first-time home buyer, needs to make sure that you have an effective walkthrough in your new build. And the walkthrough is going to happen about maybe a week or so before, maybe a week or I will say a week or two, depending on the builder. Ooh, excuse me. Had the burp. It depended on the builder, depending on the pace of how they're building your home. And on average, a home may take about 6 months on average, can take longer depending on supplies and so forth. But when you get to that point where there are the builder, there's coordination between you and the company to say, hey, Shevvy, or, Just Lovely Lace, it is time to do your walkthrough. So the first thing is, do plan to be at this specific walkthrough for multiple hours, because you're actually doing a full walkthrough of the home. So think of like, instead of you bringing in an inspector for the home, you're actually walking through as an inspector. So you're like your own inspector for that home, for your home during that time. But you're going to bring along your realtor. Okay, you want to make sure that you have your realtor there. And I will share my experience, of which I kind of did, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. I'm going to share my experience of when I did my walkthrough for a new build, because I've bought pre-built and then I built from scratch. So they're gonna set up an appointment with you that fits for your schedule, but also you're gonna notify your realtor and say, hey, this is the date and time, which they should get that notification as well too, because everyone is in communication, hopefully. So your realtor is tracking as well too. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna show up. They're gonna be there. They're gonna have about 2 individuals who are part of the builder's company, who will be the individuals. Well, the main guy is gonna, or girl is gonna meet you there with your realtor, and they're gonna walk you through the home. Okay. And when I say walk you through the home, not just walk through and be done, but walk through and have a thorough walkthrough. So if you feel like, hey, I only have 2 hours, I highly recommend that you give yourself more than 2 hours, okay? Because depending on the build of your home, depending on the size, it may take a little bit more than 2 to 3 hours, depending on what findings that you identify or the individuals identify. Because again, they're not going to identify every single thing. It is your responsibility to find and identify things during that pre-walk through, okay? If there are any questions, let me know. Of course. So as you walk into the home, it is your responsibility and your, with the help of your realtor, to go through every single room. And when you are going through the rooms, you are identifying and looking for things that are out of the ordinary. Things that could be, maybe there's dents, maybe there's nails and other things that are just still protruding. Maybe there are light fixtures that are not in correctly. Maybe there are, things that are broken, like maybe a cabinet has a split in it, maybe there's a crack in the mirror. And yes, these are things that you may see during your walkthrough. Okay. Also, you're going to go from the living room, from the front door. Sometimes there's dents on the front door, even though it's branded, because again, you have multiple people doing multiple things in that home at the same time. So a lot of times you have a different company fixing the door, and you have people doing windows. So again, things happen. So as you're going through that walkthrough, I'm trying to make sure. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're good too. All right, so I was just checking my sound. So yeah, so as you're going through your those different rooms, like, you want to check everything. You want to check the windows, you want to check the ceilings, you want to check the fans, you want to check everything. And as you are walking through, say for example, if you're in the living room and you identify maybe there's a dent in the wall, because when I did my walkthrough, there were big, like, little dents, like they put like potty, was it putty, not potty. This is not for the kids. We're not going putty to where it's like a big, like, dent in the crease of the doorway. So definitely, again, you want to look at these things, because these are things you want to identify. So as you're walking through, you can identify the person who's walking with you. They're going to take some blue tape and they're going to put that on the wall. They're going to put that on the door, on the windows, on the cabinets, on, if it, even your appliances. You want to check your appliances as well too, because again, this is your opportunity to identify things that need to be corrected. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to come out of pocket, because what's going to happen if you don't identify these things now during your walkthrough and you sign at the end that everything looks good, then you can't come back and say, well, this is what I found. No, like, this was the purpose of you going through that walkthrough. So as you go through the walkthrough, again, your realtor should be letting you know, hey, this doesn't look right, or this is not how this is supposed to be. They're not the expert on it, because they're not the expert, but they're there to guide you, because more likely they've been in the business at least 6 months to a year plus, and they have the awareness, they have the experience, and they have some knowledge of what you should be looking for doing your home walkthrough. My realtor didn't really, he identified a few things, but I am that person. Like, I am looking for every little thing. And I did miss a few things as well too, because as you move into the home, things start to shift and you really start to see things more clearly. So in order to have an effective home walkthrough, if you're looking to have a new build, definitely make sure that you take your realtor with you. Definitely make sure that you make time to go through and don't rush it. And yes, it may take you 3, 4, 5 hours. Guess what? That's okay, because those, individuals from that company, they are planning to be at least for several hours minimum. Okay. So definitely do a third walkthrough, go up the stairs, look at your carpet, look at the flooring, look at your garage, look at the concrete, like the flooring in your garage, look at your garage door, the laundry room, like the bedrooms, the closet, like look at every detail of that home. Okay, even the outside. Sometimes you have beams, you may have poles, you may have your look at your front porch, your back porch. Like you're looking at all of these things again so that you can identify and let the builders employees know, like, hey, these are the things that I am seeing, and they will mark, and some things they will correct on the spot. But what's going to happen after you identify all these things that need to be corrected? Before I get there, do know, do keep in mind, friend, that this house will not be perfect. Okay, it will not be perfect, but what you need to do is just to make sure things that you see are corrected. Okay, so definitely make sure that you're not looking for a perfect home, because that's not possible, because there are going to be little things throughout the home that are like, okay, these are things that just comes with building a home. Maybe there's a scratch here, a scratch there. But overall, you're going to look at the paint as well too. So definitely just let them know. They will identify all the things, they will mark it up, and then you will have a second walkthrough. So the first walkthrough is really just discovery. Think of discovery. You're discovering all the things that are imperfect, that needs to be corrected, that you have identified and they are aware. Then you will sign a kind of like a little sheet to say, hey, we did a walkthrough with the company, and we've identified things that needs to be corrected. Great. So the next time is the second walkthrough. The second walkthrough is like your final walkthrough before you actually move on to closing. Because before you get into closing, again, this is for a new build, you are going to do a second and final walkthrough to make sure that the things that you identified through your initial walkthrough was corrected. And if it is not corrected and you still feel like there's a lot of things that still need to be corrected, guess what? Then we're not going to closing. We are not going to closing. That means the companies still have to correct these items, because it has to meet your needs. Because at the end of the day, you are purchasing a big purchase that you have to pay on monthly. So don't just settle. If there's a compromise that needs to happen, yes. But if it is like little things that you're like nitpicking, okay, friend, let's be realistic. Not waste time, not waste money, because again, you want to make sure that you're able to move into that house in a decent time frame. So instead of just kind of just nitpicking, really identify, okay, did they correct all the major things that I have identified? Goodness, I have identified for them to correct. And if they have, and you walk through and just see like a little thing, okay, if you feel like it needs to be fixed, but of course, let them know. And I don't think they'll have a problem doing such. But as you complete your second final walkthrough, and you said, yes, this is good to go, then definitely you are moving on to closing. So as a first-time home buyer, if you're purchasing a brand new home, like you're building it from scratch, this is one thing that you want to make sure when you get to the end, before you get to closing, is to do a walkthrough, but make sure that it's an effective walkthrough, because at the end of the day, you do not want to have to spend a lot of money. And the good thing about after you're done closing, you do have 11 months of warranty with the builder. This is with the builder. You have about 12 months, which actually is like 11 months with the builder. And anything that occurs within that time frame, you will let them know. They will come in and correct it, and they will come through and do their own little walkthrough from the things, because you can submit all the things. I know for me, from my experience, I was able to identify things, because after you live in the home, things shifts. You see things start kind of like shifting away from each other. So I was able to put in like a whole bunch of different requests to say, hey, the ceiling, this is happening with the molding. This has happened with the wall, with the fan, with the bathroom. So I was able, with the pipes. Again, you also want to look at your pipes. not look at the price, but look at the sink, like turn it on, make sure everything is working and so forth. But after you move into your home, you do have another opportunity, which is like your final inspection after moving in, and then you identify things that was shifted since you moved into the home, and the company will come out and correct those things. But after the that time frame, now it is up to you as the homeowner to make sure that you have homeowners insurance to cover certain things. I know for me, like we had the roof is like a 10-year warranty for the roof because it's a brand new build. So there's a lot of different things depending on the company that they will provide even after the final walkthrough. But when the final walkthrough is done after that 11 months, now it's your responsibility. Any type of big corrections, you will have to go through your homeowner's insurance or you pay out of pocket. So, friend, this is why I am telling you to make sure that you do a thorough walkthrough for your new build. Okay. Any questions? I know I was just kind of like going, but let me know if there are any questions. Okay. Get some water. All right, if there are no questions, it's all good. But if you have a questions as you're watching this later on, hashtag replay, and I would love to answer your questions. But if you're in the market to purchase your next home, yes, I have a queue. Awesome. I will wait for that question. But while you're putting your question in there, just lovely Lace, if you're in the market to purchase a home in the next 30 to 180 days, then definitely reach out to me, whether that's a brand new build or a pre-existing home. But you're like, hey, I'm ready to purchase my first home or my next home, then reach out to me. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's see the question. I have to move over a little bit because my other computer. All right, just love you, Lace. That so far, for example, you do the walkthrough and something requires work to be done by the constructions or cosmetic, can you negotiate with that to be taken off asking price? No. You can probably honestly you can try, but with the build, the price is the price. Because they're already factoring all the different things, and they will more than likely come in and make the corrections before they deduct any a price off the final price. Yes. So, but great question. But no, from I could be wrong, and again, it all depends on different companies. From my experience, they will more than likely come in and correct the issue, and then what will happen is just that the closing date will just have to be pushed back, and they'll just come in and fix it. Yeah. Any other questions? But great question. I think I'm going to do more of the stand-in live. Plus, it gets me to move around. All right. So if there are no other questions, it's all good. But thank you so much for joining me. And like I said, if you're in the market to purchase your home in the next 30 to 180 days, then definitely reach out to me. You can just send me a DM, or you can just email me at shevvymac@kw.com. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I am Shevvy, your realtor with KW Montgomery, and a retired Air Force veteran turned realtor. And I help you to purchase your first or next home with confidence and ease. And if you're in the market and you're ready to buy, hit me up. All right. Well, I will see you all tomorrow for day 27. And this is day 26, y'all. We are going strong. Thank you all so much for joining. Hashtag replay, and I will see you all tomorrow as well too. Alrighty, bye-bye.